Hello, hello. How are you all doing? Good to see you all. Uh, you guys are gonna love this part, but let me do this real quick before I show you something. With that said, good morning and welcome to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swan Medium. Again, thank you for being here. Appreciate all the support. Good morning, Margaret. I see your comment. Something interesting is that, and I'm laughing about it because uh, uh, well, let me do this way. Let me do it this way because I'm going to move something within the camera view. But I think it's going to be fun because this is going to be neat for people that have been checking them out. Hey, Tom, good morning. So here we go. Currently, good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Sharon. The reason I'm holding my phone up is I'm not necessarily recording you all. It's the fact that I am actually recording part of the vlog for next week. So you're getting a little bit of a double whammy right now. So you're getting both. I thought it'd be kind of fun to start the show doing two things at the same time. So hey, good morning, Tina. So yeah, I'm going to look at the camera there, my phone, then I'll look back at you guys. So it'll be kind of a weird thing, but at least you guys get to see. So watching this and then get to watch the vlog, you're going to see my cool background, and then you're going to see watching the vlog, you're going to see this green screen behind me. So I thought it'd be kind of fun just to start the show, give everybody a little bit of a taste of what it's like going live. I didn't get to prep it as much as I wanted to because I had a little situation, which you guys will have to watch the vlog to hear what happened there, even though it was like all of like a few seconds. So yes, Debbie, I am multitasking. It is fun though, isn't it? Even though my arm's going to get tired holding it because I've literally got it off the table, holding my arm out because I'm like, so. But you guys can see my screen there. Look at that. How about that? Look at that reflection. There you go. You guys can see what I look like. I can't turn the camera around. That was something I was just talking before the show lit. I can't flip the camera around. For some reason, it's locked in this mode, in this view. So, but there you go. You guys can see a little bit of that. Over here is where all your guys' comments and stuff like that. This big red button here, I'll move it over. This big red button right here will end it. So, we don't want to do that right now, right? And so, what else can I show you without it being so weird? That red button is really just telling me how much time it is that I've been. And then next to it is how many people are watching. I got to figure out this view thing. It's all reversed. So it's telling me how many people are watching and then how much time I'm in. So, well, I have a stand, Debbie, or Margaret, but what's neat is it's easier for me to do it like this. So, hey, good morning, buddy. So yeah, this was just easier because that way you guys can kind of see a different view because like you guys see this straight on, but here it is. I'm looking over here at my phone recording myself. So yeah. But anyway, so I'm going to sign off on the vlog right now, and then I'm going to get back to the real thing right now. So, all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. So that was fun. I always wanted to do that. Ever since I, was gonna start doing this vlog, I really truly wanted to like do a double record because I think it was going to be a lot more fun, and even then, you guys will get to see it from a different viewpoint, which I think is going to be fascinating. So this one will be a little bit more broken up. So it's going to be a couple different things. I started it a little bit yesterday. Going to do a little bit today, some more tomorrow. So it's definitely going to be multi segments of things, but they're all kind of cool. So hopefully you guys will watch that because I'm going to try to keep to my uh the keeping to releasing these vlogs on Wednesdays because I think that's going to be pretty cool about that. Oh, no problem, Margaret. We'll get there. I just want to go over a few other things that's been going on, and so I hopefully everybody is checking out those vlogs if you have time. I understand if you can't. It's obviously trying to show you guys different things. This past one was at a local park of mine, which I really enjoyed. So those that saw it, thank you so much. And if you haven't, I got it in the links, or you can go to the YouTube channel and take a peek at that and see what you think. Because it is a special place for me. And I did a lot of early videos there, which, were short videos. And that was the cool thing of filming there so much. I mean, I filmed there, I think I started those videos in the summertime. I'd have to look at the dates again. And then I did a few, and then I took a little bit of a break, and then was about to do it again where it was winter. And even then, when I was filming the very last video I did in that series, it was snowing. So, because I know it was January, or I'm pretty sure it was January. But yeah, but yeah, that was, like I said, that was something else I was trying, and I didn't getting the opportunities were rough to get them recorded. I didn't have the time. I mean, even now I'm super busy, but that's okay. I'm still enjoying being able to do all these different things. And even then, I still want to do another show. I still got all these other ideas that I want to implement. But again, fitting this all in is a real a chore and a juggle, and considering all the family stuff too. So, but that's okay. But yeah, so if you haven't checked it out, I got a link here on my page. If you haven't seen that, or go to the YouTube page and take a peek at it. And then, yeah, let me know what you guys think about those. And then, yeah, so check those out. I do have one important thing to mention. A lot of you heard me talk about it last year, and I promoted it quite a bit, pretty much almost about this time, maybe a month prior. But officially this week, hey Tanya, good morning. Officially this week, we got the dates set for shamanic classes 1 and 2 this year. It was just trying to fit everybody's schedule in, which is a chore in itself. And so we finally got those nailed down. Everybody's in agreement. And so shamanic class number 1, so this is just like your the main thing. This is, where it gives you all the tools you need to go on your spiritual path. I mean, and even if you are religious, it just enhances your religion. So again, it's open to anybody. But this for class 1 is going to be July 22nd and 23rd. And if you guys need information on that, I didn't think to prep it, but if you go to survivalschool.com, that's where you can purchase your class, and I'll set that up. I'll put that in I'll post the link for that stuff. So if people are interested in taking class 1, yeah, so July 22nd, 23rd. So it's a Saturday and Sunday. Friday's optional. Doesn't cost you anything, but you can come out ahead of time if you wanted to be there the night before. We do have access because we're going to be at the same place in Swanton, Ohio. And we will we'll just kind of kick it around the fire. We'll have some fun. If there's enough people there, I like last year, I kind of took everybody on a little bit of a freebie, start to the weekend. I kind of did some exercises with everybody to get them in the right mindset. So Friday will be optional, but again, July 22nd, 23rd. And then for those that did take it, class 2, or if you do by chance take class 1 and you'd like to take class 2 right away, class 2 will be September 30th and October 1st. So that's again a Saturday, Sunday. Same option, Friday will be available. So if you wanted to start camping a little bit early, because you can camp there, or you can get hotels within about 15 minutes of the property. And one thing we are doing, we did cut the cost just a hair because there was a lot of situation. We decided, we wanted to bring the cost down just a little bit. So we're not going to be providing meals this time. So you will have to pack everything you want. There is restaurants and things about 10 minutes away. So if you would rather get in your car and run up into town and grab something, you certainly have the time, because usually it's about an hour or so for lunch and dinner. So you have the option. Plus, if you want to bring things, you can have a cooler. We'll certainly have a grill available. So if you want to cook on that, plus if you want to even just cook over the fire, we'll have a fire going the whole time. So there is that. So you can really, really immerse yourself if you want to. But again, that way, everybody has their if they have any dietary needs, they can certainly, take care of that. And that way we don't have to worry about having, extra food and all this stuff, which happens from time to time. But again, yeah, so we did that. So, Debbie, what you could do, Deb, you just look up Toledo. That's probably the easiest thing to do. But like I said, it's Swanton. You also can look up it's only about, I want to say maybe 20 minutes from the property. If you look up Toledo Express Airport, So it's a smaller little, it's a smaller airport. Mostly it's a place where you jump on to connect to like Detroit Metro or something. But Tula Express Airport is literally down the street from it, so it's not that bad. Um, but yeah, so other than that, so that's we're really excited about that. We're kind of, glad that we got the dates finally set, because we just again weren't sure. We are trying to avoid, the class one may be a little bit warmer, but it's definitely not going to be like August, because when we did the class one last year, we just happened to have a heat wave that weekend. So hey, Cheryl, good morning. So yeah, that was no problem, Debbie. It was warm. It was warm, and but see, that's the thing is when you start going down this path like I have, you're going to have distractions, and it's how you adapt to those distractions, how you overcome those distractions, because that's the whole thing about it. Going down this path, which again, this isn't, you're not going to sit there and be guided to do what I did. You know what I mean? You're not going to necessarily go out to be a medium. That is a completely different thing. This is literally the gist of it is you learning to talk to your own guides and angels, which is a great way that we'll segue into that. But it's there, you have helpers all around you. Whether, I know some people believe, some people don't, and it's all good. I think if you have the opportunity to be open-minded and experience those things, it's a beautiful thing, and they really do help you out. Sometimes, we all can be stubborn. I know I can be stubborn and not reach out to them as often as I should. But it's amazing when you do. I had a few little things this week that I kind of reached out, to said, hey, I could use your help a little bit, and it really did help. So it's amazing when you get with them, and you finally get to meet them and realize they're there for you, in all aspects of your life. I mean, every place possible, other than, they're not going to be giving you lottery numbers and stuff. Like if my dad was in the chat, he'd be saying that right now. Yeah, I like the winning lot. No, it's not. That greed is not going to be that way. That's not how it's not how the universe works. Sure, it'd be nice, but yeah, but yeah, so that's so we tried to, kind of adjust the dates a little bit, just like class 2 is going to be in the cooler part of it. So, but that's okay too. It's easier to bundle up than it is to, hey Dinah, it's easier to bundle up in cooler weather than it is to try to stay cool in the hot part of the summer. So so it may be a little bit warm, but probably won't be as bad. So unless we have some magical heat wave, but you never know. So, but that's we're really excited to get class 1 and 2 on the books. And so again, you can go to survivalschool.com. And then you just go into courses, and you're going to look up the old, I think it's the main category is the old ways, and you'll see like a little bit of like a wizard, and you'll click on that, and then you just find the shamanic classes, and then it's got a drop down. And so obviously you need to have at least class 1 before you can go to class 2, because class 2 is a little bit of kind of goes back over 1 real quick, and then we do a few extra things and things. So yeah. Oh, well, Shannon, I will drink to that right now. Margaret, he got his main vehicle fixed, so I doubt he will be driving the the old classic collector's car. So he did get it fixed. I can't remember what was wrong anymore, but there was something major that there was just no way. But yeah, I think he'll be fine. But then again, that's a part of it. That is going with the flow of things. There was that possibility that things weren't going to happen, or he may had to have shown up, Saturday morning or something. But that's just it. You can't get frustrated. It's easy to do. I still do, I get those moments, and then I start to get frustrated, and they're like, well, slow down. It's not the end of the world. You got to look at the situation, and then, correct yourself and move forward. So, and that's what Tom did. It was just going back on what he's learned all these years. And, he had a car situation. He had to figure out how to fix it. And he jumped in his classic car and stuffed what he could in the car, and he showed up. So it's how it goes. So that was kind of fun. Maybe not as fun at the moment, but it was, fun while it was. Hey, Dana, good morning. Yeah, I know you saw that, didn't you? Or at least I hope you saw that, because I haven't looked at my phone other than just at the start of the show. uh, so Dana, if you guys see the comments, Dana, Dana, Carmen, Jeff, and myself, we call ourselves the Swamp Crew, and that's popped up before. And a year ago today, exactly a year ago, the most of the Togs team, Toledo, Ohio Ghost Hunter Society, and some of their guests that they invited to come out, went to the mill as a private event, old mill investigation, and there was a series of jokes and pranks that were stacked on top of each other, and it, it was a great night. I mean, there were so many amazing and hilarious moments, and I mean, me getting pranked a little bit, pranking Jeff a little bit. I mean, it was really cool. But I guess I don't know if I still have it, but I guess I could show it real quickly. But because I think I'll just go right to our page. So I'm going to show you a picture of Jeff and myself. Now, I didn't think to preload it, but I'm going to show you. Now, you're going to see Jeff and I, and you're going to see two different shirts that we're wearing. And that was the joke of it all, was that we were, and that's what Dana's putting in there, why she's saying the number one Green Swamp fan, because Jeff was feeling left out because he's got some abilities and things, and he knows he does. It's just expanding them, exploring them a little bit more. And so he felt left out. And so part of it was he wanted to then just be called the Green Swamp, medium. So Dana went ahead and this was part of the prank that was, on me, was that Jeff was going to wear a shirt, and on the back of the shirt, which I don't have it set, but on the back of the shirts, that Jeff's black shirt that he's wearing is going to say, number one, or Black Swamp Medium, or number one fan of the Black Swamp Medium. And then I have a green shirt on, which is then, the Green Swamp number one fan. And so now it might be, my shirt's going to be reflected, so you guys are going to see the angels. So, but I'm wearing a green shirt, but you guys can see that. Sorry, I can't find the camera, but that is a green shirt, but you got the green screen effect going on. That's why my fingers are all weird right now. But you can see us sitting there with the shirts, which was great because I loved it. I mean, I think it was great. It was hilarious, and there was a couple other pranks I'm not going to talk about, because they were a little bit more risky, that we did to each other. But still, I'm sure Dana's probably laughing her butt off because she probably remembers the one that we really did set up. So, and it's funny, Dana, I found the messages of you and I when we were discussing that prank in particular. So it popped up in my time hop feed. So hilarious. Anyway, but so those are great times, and with great people, great friends, and getting to hang out with them. And even then, typically privates, I don't usually get to go out and hang out with them, but since they were all good friends of mine, I got to, hang out, and we got to do some fun things that night too. I mean, even the investigation. So, I mean, we had some serious business before the investigation. We had a lot of fun in the beginning when we got to the old mill, and then investigated, had some great moments. Uh, you know, Powerful ones too, real powerful moments, and that were captured on video and stuff. So yeah, it was a lot of fun that night. So yeah, hopefully there'll be many more. So I know, Dana, that's what I was saying. That was one of those that we captured on video. So, but yeah, super excited I always love that. I love when I can go through and see these memories pop back up again, and makes it special, because it's fun to look back and see, what was going on. And yeah. So anyway, I did want to talk real quick. Obviously, I can't provide a lot of details because it is private, but I was in this week, again, I'm still trying to get back into the swing of things. This week, I got to do 2 remote view sessions. One was out of the country, and one was in the country. Obviously, again, they're private paranormal cases where I remote viewed into these locations. Again, I can't provide details, but I can say about the first one that was out of the country, there was a 3-year-old kid involved. And so, you got some terrified people, and obviously the 3-year-old, in that situation is never a good thing. And we always have made it a mission, if there's something I can, help out with, especially when kids are involved, because I've said it many times before. It's really unfair to have, hey, Nikki, good morning. It's really unfair that, you have these spirits, regardless of what their mission is, so to speak. But hey, Shannon. Oh yeah, yeah. Um, but I jump on kid cases, and when I was asked by another team out of the country saying, "Hey, can you help us out?" And I'm like, "Absolutely," because obviously they didn't give me anything more than "Hey, there's a 3-year-old involved." That's all I needed to know, and that's all I did know. I had no idea, and the cool thing was, I mean, cool in the sense that I did the remote view and got a lot of information, provided that information to the team. They then went the very next night, which they actually had scheduled to then do an on-site kind of a mini investigation. It wasn't to do the main one, but it was sit down with the client a little bit more, kind of walk the home and see what they can pick up on, and obviously run some equipment, but not a full-blown investigation. But interesting enough, a lot of the information I provided made a lot of sense. And a lot of the things that I said, because I didn't, when I do some of these, I go in there for information only. So I'm basically a fly on the wall. And so the other spirits spirit or spirits, because you never know if there's one or many, they typically don't see you. And that's my whole thing, is it's kind of like I'm just kind of literally high above, just kind of observing things and taking it all in, and then reporting it to whoever, whether it's team I'm with, whether I'm working the case or another team, so I do that. And that was very, very interesting. And a lot of validation came from that. So even on some of the information I provided, a lot of the experiences that I could see was happening to the people living there. So I'm kind of waiting to see if they want my help any further, if they want me to try to do any type of removals. But that's again, not up to me. It's there, the offer's there, and I'll see if they need any further help. So that was fun, for me, because I said, you know, it's all hands on deck, when a kid's involved in it. It's just something I've always talked about, and something I'm passionate about. Kids don't deserve that. They don't need to be, they need to live. They need to grow up. They need to, just be kids, and they don't need stuff scaring them, especially when they don't understand and they don't know how to protect themselves. They don't know how to, you know, fight back, but not in the sense of like yelling and screaming at them, or swinging your arms through the air, but it's one of those things that just standing your ground, being firm about things, which I've talked about many times. Uh you know when you're fearful and you're angry, those are the things that just fuel those spirits, especially if they're there to scare you, or they don't want you living there. I mean, there's obviously multiple reasons why they're there, brought in by something, or they're attached to somebody. So yeah, you just never know in those situations. But like I said, it's always unfair, and I hate it even when the kids are that young, because that's just, it gets you in the heart, because it's like, okay. And even then, I have to be careful myself. I can't let anger get over me, you know what I mean, because then that could jeopardize stuff. And so I don't want activity to pick up even more and really do more harm than what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm there to help them. So yeah, I always have to keep in check. But again, yeah, I pretty much was, as soon as I got the message to help out, I was like, okay, when I can do it here, can we do it here? Perfect. And so we scheduled it, and then they went. It was ironic that then they went the next day, which was already scheduled, so it worked out great. I got to do another one last night, which was really cool. Again, I I I should probably clarify that. If I say cool, hey Jen, good morning. I don't want it to seem like it's like a game. So I apologize if that comes across that way. It's cool in the sense that I'm excited that I can be a part of something to help in the end. That's where the cool wording comes from. So it's not just, a weird ego thing or anything like that. No, I'm passionate about that. If there's something I can do to help, or suggest, whatever the case is, or help that, if there's something I can remove, I'm gonna, I'll definitely there. So again, I can't say where, and all the details. No young kids in this one, but it's been going on a little bit while. There is another team involved, and they don't really have anybody on the team that can do. They don't do mediumship, and they really don't have anybody that could do removals in this instance. I mean, sure. Teams that don't have mediums, and you can have sensitives and stuff, but mediums and those that have been trained in how to remove spirits and stuff, uh, they just have never been in those situations enough to where they had to. A lot of it was just documenting and providing that information. So they reached out to me a while ago, and I just haven't been able to, because I was feeling sick for a while. You guys remember that, and so that was the bad part. Was that first day I wasn't feeling right was that Saturday was when I started going downhill. And I was like, that was the point I needed to help them that night. And unfortunately, I just went down and I went down hard. Still a big mystery as to what it all was, but like I said, I'm back out of it, and we're trying to keep moving. But so I got to remote into this home, and it definitely got a lot of information, provided that information, and there was a few things that came up that even got validated right out of the gate. um I wish I could provide the one because it was very interesting. But again, I don't want to give it away to where maybe people would be curious and looking it up and type of thing. Not that you're going to know the people's names or anything, but again, it's just the privacy side of it. And if they ever want to share it or say I can share it, then I certainly will. But I always leave that up to the clients, especially when it's private. But got a lot of information. Gave them my recommendations. I gave them what can be done. They came back, within the few hours, and we're just like, yeah, I think we're gonna, have you remove it. Cool, no problem. And interesting enough, they actually want me to actually show up. They want me to be there, so I can actually see the house in person, and that's gonna be fun too. Uh, because obviously when I do my remote views, I see things differently than how we see things. So my vision is different, and I do that on purpose because it helps me locate spirits, or helps me find like portals or openings within the home or business, so I can kind of see if there's something that they're kind of going in and out of. And it's kind of neat. I've That's been a great tool for me to switch my vision around when I do remote viewing. Because even when I do sessions on people for healing or cleansing, it's the same thing. I kind of go into this different vision, and I've talked about it before. It basically, easiest way to put it is kind of like a thermal thing a little bit. It's kind of like thermal. For those of that enjoyed some scary movies, if you remember the Predator, you can see that creature, that alien, so to speak. When he's scanning around, you kind of see that look, and a hot source, kind of, if the hotter it is, the redder, orange, red, yellow. It's really close to that. It's really close to that. So yeah, like seeing walls and things like that are kind of translucent to me, but then seeing a spirit, because even humans do not have color unless I'm working on somebody directly. But even then, the colors are a lot different than a spirit or entity. Their colors are way different for me. They're more colorful, which helps me identify, because I could be in one part of a house and look, and I can see through all the walls and see where they're hiding at or where they're currently at. So it works in our advantage. And just like it's worked in the past when the Swippy team, when I've done the remote view that week and find out where they mostly hang out at, we've been able to go to those spots and get the answers, get, confirmation, that there is activity. It's not just, me, but we got equipment, sounding off, and it's made investigations go quicker, which is why, it's a very useful tool, for a team. Not that every team has to, but it's just, you don't want to spend, 4, 5, 6 hours, in a location. You can kind of cut it down by half, but, so yeah, so I'm gonna be scheduling to go to this location, this home, and check it out in person. So that'll be fun to see it with my own eyes instead of spiritual remote viewing eyes. And then possibly right then and there, I might be doing the removals while I'm in the home. So that'll be fun, for me, to again do some help, and hopefully that'll restore the house feeling better, and make them enjoy their home. So so that's where that was. And let me do a little hit of coffee. Excuse me. But all right. Now, the one thing I mentioned, and that was the topic of today, and something I even brought about earlier, is angels. I talked about it before. It was another suggestion by my, hey, Kate, good morning. A lot of, there was, again, this was probably like December or something like January that you guys made a lot of suggestions. And so I still got a few more that I want to get to. But this was one people wanted me to circle back to. So angels, obviously, you can see, no, that's not wings coming out of my ears. Right, I'll move it right. Yeah, I guess I should do this, right? Wait, see, I gotta go opposite. There we go. um, Absolutely. Obviously, I can give you my opinions, and so I'll, and everybody else has their opinions. Um, and again, my thing is, as long as you're open to things, doesn't mean that you have to hate on it, because nowadays you have to be careful on everything you say. But yeah, I mean, I'm a firm believer in angels. I think I've experienced them enough over the years, especially going down that shamanic lifestyle. It's opened me up to, again, not just my guides that are all there, assigned to me, but even angels. You have sort of that higher universal um, uh, guides, overseers, kind of thing, that they're more on that angelic and there's so many different aspects to what's all there for you and at your disposal. And to have angels, which again, they're there. It's just, are you willing to open yourself up to experiencing them? They are, in some aspects, and I've been around enough and seen frustrations in people that, that really do want to experience them, or they have a hard time understanding that this is something that's real. And I get it. I mean, everything we've been ever taught as, kids growing up, or lack of what we're being taught, there's a lot of make believe things, and stuff's not real. And, and, we don't want to go down that path. That's for sure. Because we don't want, we're trying to make this positive. We're not trying to go down some negative thing. But yeah, I've had so much experiences, and even then I'm still having experiences. Uh, you know, and I encourage it. I ask for it. I, put intentions out there every day, thanking my guides, angels, and several others that support me, from the other side. But I throw it out there, and I'm always giving them all love, because that is, the greatest thing of all. And to give that love, and when you open your heart up and have those moments where they come and give you things like angels, for me I mean, they without a doubt have provided so much love and caring, when situations have uh, happened or about to happen, which for about I mean, it was a few years ago. It was before the pandemic. So let's, I will. Okay. Yeah. When you experience an angel energy, you definitely know. Yes, Tom. Yeah, you do. You don't forget it. That's for sure. um, especially if they give you a visual, and that's where I'm kind of leading to on this point. Um, when you are ready and you've opened your heart enough to them, and you give them love, it is such a special moment when you have, and what no greater physical way of knowing they're there is when you see a feather pop out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It is, I've shared over the years, I've been on this show and other shows, and I have had a feather float down in front of me live on air. I mean, I've had it, and some of you have probably have seen those shows. When it happens, you just see me going like this, and I'm like, and I'm following it, and it is so special. And those first few times, it was just like, not that I didn't believe they weren't there, but then you get that physical evidence, let's say, but to see that feather, and it's just like, yes. And then you open yourself up a little bit more, and then you just feel them giving you that love or giving you that comfort that, whether you're again doing in a situation or you're about to be, which was again my thing. Jen saying, I'll never forget when I saw my first angel. Yep. Dana, that happened That has happened, and my boss thought I was crazy, right? I've seen it happen to you 3 times now, right, Debbie? So I said, I know a few of you have seen that. Um, it it you know, the times that they've been there for me to basically, it was they were giving me love, and you could feel it. And a lot of times it's always like the day before. It's been the day before, and sometimes it's always been in the evening. And it's weird is that the family's nowhere to be found, and it's just like me in a room, and or walking into another room that nobody is anywhere, and I'll have that feather float down in front of me, and I'll usually can catch it because they know I don't need the big feathers because I'm trying to keep my vision wide open all the time unless I'm dealing with something. Like right now, I'm looking at you guys, even though right there I can see my coffee cup, and I'm still looking at the camera. But that's part of shamanic class, awareness and stuff. But they give me little feathers, and because they know I'm always watching. Even at home, sometimes I kind of still go tunnel vision, but yet there's times where I open up, and I'll hold that feather, and a lot of times I'll take a photo of it just to keep that memory of it. Not that I can't forget it, but then when I look at that feather and I'm holding it, you just feel it, and then ironically, then the next day, like all hell breaks loose. It's one thing after another. It's negative this, negative that. And it's like nothing like that I'm creating. It's just being immersed around a lot of bad moments, bad situations, and, stressful, the anxiety. You guys know I deal with that at times. And it's interesting because when I'm in the middle of that stuff, it's like it's either my memory or they're triggering me because then all of a sudden I go back to the day before and I just remember that loving feeling, that comfort of when somebody, hey Frank, good morning. Um, when it just feels like somebody's hugging you. It's that when you get a good hug from somebody when it truly has meaning. It's not that just hey, good to see you, nice friend. No, there's hugs out there that when you give a good hug, you know it. And not saying that all hugs are bad, but there's just times where you really truly can feel that hug, and both you and the other person know it, and that's special. But that's what it feels like, is you have that feeling, and when you remember that moment, it absolutely gets you kind of refocused a little bit. Doesn't resolve all the issues that are going on around you, but it gives you a moment of where it's like, we got this. We're all supporting you. Just do what you can do. Just walk down that line, so to speak. Just keep going. We're going to get you through it. And that's helped a lot. And because, you get into those moments and you kind of get tunnel vision, you get frustrated, you get upset, emotional. And, sometimes it's hard to just, reach out to somebody real quickly and say, hey, I need a little help, or I need a little friend. Sometimes you can't wait. So that's what they're there for. It's why you really can always talk to your guides, talk to your angels, and just have them be there at that moment to get you through it. So yeah, the physical signs are always a great thing. And you have to realize, and again, like I said, being aware, the more you are aware, the more those things happen, because there's a lot of times, any of you, even if you've got no real experiences, you've never taken any type of spiritual style classes, uh you it's happening, and it does happen, and again, I've talked about that before. You just have to slow down. I've said many times, you got to slow yourself down. And if you don't slow down, you're missing things. And you're missing things that are happening around you, but you're missing things about yourself. And that's, it happens. Again, we got lives. I mean, I have to do work stuff. I go to a day job. I have to focus on that at times, and there's times where it's rough, and it's been rough, recently. And there's just a lot of stuff happening. But you know what? I'm going to get this done. You know, I had a situation, in fact, yesterday. It was frustrating. The equipment wasn't working, and I was trying to get these people. I was the key for me was just pushing all this positive stuff out. Don't let it worry them, because if I start getting nervous, they're going to get nervous, and then they're, or upset. And so I'm just, I'm having fun. I'm trying to crack a few jokes, just being me, even in those situations. But you know what? I eventually figured things out, or I got some way, some of the equipment to work and got their meeting going. And then they were, one lady was shaking my hand, giving me high fives and stuff. And see, that's the cool thing is just relaxing and knowing, you'll get through it. But Margaret saying I was attacked by someone in high school, and it was a switchblade, and a police officer from a local department appeared out of nowhere and stopped him. When I went to the police station the next day to thank him for saving my life, the desk clerk told my mother that there was no one matching his description and no badge number, which I made note of on the force. We were stunned. Wow. Yeah, that's impressive. That's what they always say, guardian angels, guardian angels. And you know, and again, that's just having a belief system. Again, you don't have to necessarily be religious to believe in them. You don't. It's okay. You could be whatever and still call on them to be there, and to watch over you, or in a situation where you're in, a bad situation. And so it's the mindset you have to do to make that contact with them. And starting today, again, I do daily prayers, and angels is always one of them that I reach out to, and I send them love, thank them for all that they have done and everything that they're going to do for me, even though I don't know all of that is going to happen. But I let them know that I appreciate every moment, whatever they can do or will do, whether it's now or in the future. It means the world to me. And so that is something you need to do. Spend a minute or two. You don't have to have up some long, lengthy, novel prayer. It could be very simple. It could be straight to the point, and but start reaching out to them, because you'd be amazed at how you feel when you get those moments. And like Tom said, and um Jen, when you have special moments, that when they can touch your life, it's such a huge and beautiful thing. Nikki, yeah, I work with angels all the time. I thank them, and they're so grateful for them. Yes, and Nikki, yeah, she does. We've talked a lot, in private, and it's the one thing I always admire about her. She's always very driven, and always using the angels. Uh, and she's, a couple times she says, "Hey, let me help you," and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I could use a little help right now," and she'll throw some stuff at me, and it's like, okay, all right. And I always appreciate it too. Always appreciate it. I am still guilty in the sense that I do have a hard time asking for help a lot of times, because I always think that I can deal with it myself. Hey, I got guides, I got angels, I'll just call them, but then I don't. And then I gotta, suffer for a little bit, because it's like, wake up. Instead of just either really focusing on my peeps that are following me, or ask some of you to be like, hey, my guardian angels look like this. Oh geez, Debbie. All right, I gotta put that up there, because that's too funny. I get that. Yeah, see, that's what all your guides, your angels, that's exactly the same thing. Like, oh God, what are they doing today? I love that, Deb. Thanks. And there's and it's, but it's to be expected. They know that, they understand that. Oh, thanks, Nikki. Oh, and I am too for you. So, but yeah, you know, and this is a very in-depth topic, and I'm not, I've never been an expert at it. I can only go off of what I've experienced and stuff. And many, like Nikki and even my friend Jennifer Pass event, they've got some angel knowledge. You know what I mean? So, because I have a hard time remembering, like, even all the archangels and stuff like that. They'll say one of them, like, what does that one do again? you know, I can only fit so much in here. I like learning, and I'm fascinated by it all. But I can't always remember all of them, and what their specifics are. But that, it's okay. That's why you have people you could reach out to, and get that info from them, because they're the ones that can retain it. I just can't. So I just go with what I got. But I do want to share another personal angel story one time. And I'm pretty sure I said this on the show the last time I did this, which may have been last year or 2 years ago, that it was one of the few times that I actually saw the angel. Like, now it wasn't like full blown human size, You know what I mean? Um, but it was it was actually even smaller than like fairies, and fairies, usually could be like, a good width of a hand, type of size. Sometimes they could be a little bit closer to, a foot or so. But this was smaller. This was, basically, the size of this angel would fit in the palm of my hand. And it was again another moment where none of the family was on the main floor. I was on the main floor of my home, this home. And I remember um, I just felt pulled to go into our family room, and the lights were off, but the only light was coming from the kitchen. So you got the kitchen, there's the dining room table, and then the family room. So it's all not one big thing, but yeah, obviously the light carries. And so there was just that light from the kitchen, illuminating the family room. But I just for some reason felt a pull to walk into that room, and I walk into that room, and I kind of felt that urge to stop, and I kind of turned towards the couch we have in there, and I'm looking at the couch, and all of a sudden, at first I literally thought it was like a huge moth. I mean, because it was the wings were going so fast, it was just crazy, and we've all seen moths, we've seen them flapping around, but the size was, like I said, was bigger. It was when I realized it was the size of my hand. um but came up from basically about the couch, where the cushions were, and went up to about head height, and then went just a little bit above me, and then just dissolved. And, you know, and when you have encounters, whether it's your guides, angels, or you have even paranormal encounters, you see something visual, and especially, for as long as I've been doing all of this now, you can't help but stop for a second, and then you turn on the investigator, equipment gear in your head, and you're just trying to like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? You're looking around because you're trying to make sure that it wasn't something, you know, light of some sort. You're trying to make sure that what you just experienced was legit. And even though I was really feeling good. There was nothing bad, there was nothing scary, but just feeling something powerful was gonna happen. And then I see this, and it's like, so then, like I said, you're tying this all in. And I see her, and I'm like, wow, I mean, that like, because that was the first time truly seeing. I mean, I've had feathers up to that point, and I, still have feathers to this day. But that was the first time I've, really got it does, Debbie. It's crazy how that just kicks in because you're just so used to doing that, which is a good thing. It is a good thing. It helps, you know, it just makes it more amazing in the end when then you can be like, yep, there's no way that didn't happen, Um, but I was so amazed by seeing her. And I mean, one, I was kind of dumbfounded because then I'm just like, and then I'm like talking, I'm putting the energetic wording out into the universe to be like, thinking, really? What, what? I mean, I'm literally stumbling over my words the whole time. And I'm like, whoa, thank you for one. I do love you. Thank you for showing yourself to me. So I'm slowly collecting myself, and then I'm just, giving that gratitude for that because obviously it didn't need to happen. And I don't remember exactly if I knew that. I was so taken back by the thing. That's what I remember of it, but I don't remember if she was there for anything else that day or the next day. I don't remember right now, but I was still amazed just by seeing her. But I know there was a reason for it. Um, but I was so grateful and so thankful. And I remember going, and I don't remember where it's at right now. I have a picture of it somewhere, but I ended up like drawing I mean, I can't draw that great. But I drew to the best of my ability of what she looked like. And again, it wasn't, you could probably take a cross of a few things. Like I said, it kind of had like like a giant moss kind of size, but yet, maybe even a little bit of like a butterfly kind of body to, I mean, it definitely not the normal what you would think, that classic angel with huge wings and stuff like that. I mean, it didn't have that, but it was truly her. And, I remember drawing it, and then even when I got done drawing it to the best of my ability, I remember looking at her and I got that same reaction again looking at the finished picture, because then I'm holding it in front of me. I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm feeling, all warm and tingly, and just feeling that love, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Um, and I know I wish I could remember. I know I got it saved because I wouldn't throw it away, but and maybe I got it on my phone somewhere way back years and years and years ago. It's way over 5 years ago, I think this happened. Um, but definitely recent, but just not that recent. But I think I got it somewhere. I'll have to find it. If I do find it sometime when I'm thinking about it, I'll definitely show you guys and update you on it so you guys can see it. Because like I said, it's not the usual thing. But see, I drew what she looked like as she was flying in front of me. Um, and I guess if you take like maybe some movies and things that have had imagery and stuff like that, literally it was just real nice and smooth and slow. It's I guess I should do it in front of the camera instead of out here. This doesn't do you guys any good seeing that, right? Yeah, what's happening? um, but yeah, I mean, it was just nice and slow and just right out in front of me, and it's just so cool. And again, it's just those moments of being there, open for it. Obviously I'm not open to horrible stuff, negative stuff. I don't want any of that. I don't want to see no demons flying in front of me, right? um no, none of that. It's bad enough when you deal with cranky spirits, like the couple of things I'm dealing with that I saw this week. It's a couple of cranky spirits. It's like I like to say it, they're not true evil. They're not the worst of the worst. They're just some creepy people that just were not nice in life, and they are what they are. And so but yeah, uh so but I know and I guess I'm kind of curious in those that are still watching, that stay out of what. Yeah, right, Debbie, right. you know Actually, I do. I think I have like a every 5 or so year I'll show up in a Walmart briefly. I think the last time I was in a Walmart was probably 2018 was probably the last time I was in a Walmart, because I have so many other stores, even though I do have a Walmart in town too, but I got so many other stores. It's just so used to going to those that, there's really no need to go to Walmart. So, but yeah, uh, um, oh gosh, what was I going to say? Now I forgot. I hate when that happens. See, I get on it. You get so many things you want to share. Oh, I wanted to say, so uh, how many of you have had, I mean, I'm not saying you have to have seen an angel straight up, but I'm just kind of curious if anybody can at least, say yes, or you don't even have to say no, but just those that have had those encounters of a feather, out of nowhere when you least expected it, and then when you realized you saw that feather, that there's no other way it could have been there. There's nothing, didn't, pop out of some down blanket or something, but you really had it show up out of nowhere. That's the key, is when you can debunk it in a way, knowing that it wasn't, somebody else. Like, you know, y- y- a lot of times, you can have it where, you could have something attached to your leg or something like that, like a feather, that a bird dropped, and then you bring it in and then it's floating around your house. That can happen. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, hey, Armani. Um, but yeah, no, I'm just kind of curious to see, how many of you have had, those feather moments, and because it's just so neat. And then when you realize there's nothing else that it could be, you know, um, Jen's yes. Shannon, yes. Just really small out of nowhere in the kitchen. Maybe. Yeah. See, that's awesome, Shannon. Yes. Yep. Nikki. I do see them. Yeah. And, and that's the thing, is, especially if you work with them a little bit more, like directly, like I always ask them to be there for me. I don't always, hit them first. Not that it's a bad thing, but I do, I still appreciate it. And I do want, I do hit them up once in a while, for specific reasoning for it. But yeah, it's kind of fun that I don't, you know, I think having such a big entourage of guides and, and angels, they, I can kind of pick and choose. And again, I kind of pick and choose of who I know is going to be best for the situation. And that's just how I work it. Doesn't mean that you can't, and just have them all, chime in on something. But sometimes, some of them have a specific trait. Just like I said, I'm terrible with, what each archangel does specifically, but I know there's some that this one does this and this one does that, and I love that. Let's see. Armani, how about meeting the ghost dog at John Black shop in the bar, having a good rest his head on you? Yeah, yeah. But yeah, so it's again, it's just kind of neat. It really is neat if you have those moments, and it's okay if it's not your thing either. You know what I mean? But if you have a moment and you do have one, it's usually something you don't forget, and that's the special thing. Because anytime I've ever been in contact with something new, and case in point, the recent thing, or at least a couple years ago, has been the unknowns that I've worked with some of my friends. It's completely, it's an energetic force from the universe that has never been, alive. It's always just been this constant energy. And even meeting them has just changed so many things about how I look at the universe and everything else that coexist and functions together. And again, it's just like everything has a moving piece to it that is for the greater good of us all. But those are neat, is anytime you have those moments, to cherish them, but don't forget it, but then keep them around. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've got a whole big entourage behind me, and I'm glad. I got my team behind me, and that's that's what I prefer. Because I know in the beginning, I mean, I still have a lot of my original guides. Some have kind of changed and switched out, but I've added to that. I've added so much more, and it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Because again, it's me expanding, me learning more, understanding more, being taught more. And that's the whole point. And angels has certainly been a huge part of me. I've always known about them even as a kid. Growing up Catholic, angels was always a form of topic, not like it is like in this situation, but just always saying, always ask your guardian angel, to be with you, and but then realizing how much more involved they can be for you. But then, yeah, as I've developed and expanded and grown, there's so much more to learn and still learn, but it doesn't mean I won't be reaching out to some of you to be like, who's this? Which I love. Very true. For one that can never learn everything, we must constantly stay. Yeah, it's a never ending thing. I mean, I've said it time and time again. Interesting. I always wondered about angels. Yeah, Dinah. I mean, none of us can tell one person, whether you're watching the show or you're replaying it another time. I can't tell you, that you have to believe in them. That's completely up to you. We all have our freedom of choice. And that's the thing about it. If it doesn't, intrigue you at all, that's okay. And maybe it will at some point, or maybe it won't. But you're also being shown other things that are important for you and what you might be doing to help others. And that's awesome. So don't feel that, you have to have angels in your life, that none of us are going to, I'm never going to push you, and even when I tell you things, it's all about, me and my experiences. And again, I'm not sitting here trying to say you have to believe this. I mean, but I just want you guys to understand it, that the possibilities are there. Jen saying, if I don't know who to call on, I ask for all beings of love and light of the highest order in all realms and dimensions and star systems to align with the energies of in the state of mind. You're right, Jen. I have heard you say that before. So yes, that is a great way to look at it too. Because yes, they are. I got you, Armani. I don't know a whole lot about that. I actually don't. And so that'd be something I'd have to research a little bit more. I don't know, but I'm gonna write that down. But Jen, yeah, I mean, it absolutely. And a lot of times that's what you have to do. When I've been doing a lot of my sessions, then I've been getting back into things, even like these 2 remote views this week. I asked for the whole gang to be with me, even if they weren't really there, or real specific, I still want them with me, to be a part of that moment, because maybe there will be a situation that I'm not aware of yet. So I ask everybody to, help me out from now on. And that's just the way it is. Um, Dinah thing. I think I met an angel once when I had a brain tumor. Yeah, Dinah. Sometimes in health situations, especially if things maybe not in the good side, uh, they are going to show you that, some love, and really that's a huge thing, is knowing that you've got some people looking out for you, and they're going to give you that love to get you through it. So, but that's cool, Dinah. No worries. All right, Sharon, you have a good day. Yep, I see that I am out of time, and I got through half a cup of coffee. So, dang. Very, very, that's not even lukewarm. I can put an ice cube in there to be perfect. So, but right. So yeah, in fact, let's do this real quickly as I end the show. I will even put the camera back on so you guys can see the after effect of what happens, and then hear some commentary after I hang the show up. So let me do this. I'm going to flip the camera around. Oh, now I got it back. Okay. So now I'm going to start another segment of the vlog. So we got that rolling now. So as I look over at the camera as I'm recording for the next vlog, we're at the very end of the show. We are now just a few minutes over, and I am going to show you guys oh no, see, I lost it again. Dang it. I can't flip it. All right, never mind. You'll just see me. You'll just see me. So not all angels are light workers though. Okay. I got you, Armani. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go talk to you guys on the vlog. So you guys will have to wait till Wednesday to check that all out. But I thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to start our mornings like this, and I love it. And I will be back again next week, of course, with all the post in between. And then, of course, you guys will have to watch this vlog. So I hope you enjoy it. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. So Shannon, thank you so much. I'm glad you made it as well. Debbie, have a great weekend. Nikki, have a great weekend. So yeah, so you guys have been watching the Mid-Morning Medium Chat with Adam Black Swamp Medium, and I will see you guys again soon. Have a great one, and stay safe, and enjoy this weather, because we've got a little bit of weather and then a little bit of a cool down. So bundle up Monday and Tuesday, okay, gang? So, all right, take care, everybody. Thank you so much. Kate, thank you. Jen, have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. Bye.